Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. We're taking a look here again at Bitcoin, double checking a few things. It looks like we are holding at this 0.5 fib level here for a little while. We'll discuss what that means for us in the big picture. Generally construed as a good positive support level. But when we do take a look at some liquidation levels, we can see there's a lot more liquidation forming to the downside on not only last 7 days, but the monthly too. Keep this in mind, folks. Again, we got roughly about 10 to $20 billion worth of liquidation at that low 62,800 mark. Okay, so keep in mind there's a pretty heavy concentration there based on the last month of trading. So those are things we need to keep our eye on and just understand, not try to be too naive here in the fact that Bitcoin, while it looks decent, on Friday it did well leading into the weekend. We're probably due for one last leg down. It would just make sense. We may not even see the price come up here to retest this descending trend line about 65.5. So just some things to kind of think about, right? That's the whole point of this, is to help educate you and get you, just some ideas or concepts of how, trading is supposed to work. Does it always work out the way we want to? No. In fact, I was talking to one of my community members this month about how, poor this month is compared to last few months, and that's normal, right? You're going to have ebbs and flows in trading. The key takeaway is that you minimize your loss, maximize your gain, and, while we have taken, some substantial losses this month, other months make up for that. Okay, so please understand it's a long run, not a short-term gain, right? Most people kind of get stuck on the fact that, or at least they think the image is construed that cryptocurrency is a get-rich-quick thing. It isn't. It's a slow grind, honestly, and if it's going to be your full-time job, you got to kind of be patient. Take the hits while you take the wins, right? Celebrate the wins and learn from the losses. Take a look here in the daily time frame. We want to recognize that we're below 3 out of 4 moving averages. That's standard. You've probably known that for a while. That really just implies that we're below a resistance. Well, keep in mind the resistance range here. If we do zoom out, it is adjusting a little bit, but it has been generally roughly that 67,000 mark. Okay, so we can see here now it's roughly about 66,300, but there's a heavy concentration at 67. Easy way to understand it here is this little support range, or it was previous support range, sorry. It's highlighted in red here. This guy is essentially the resistance range for us, and that's based on volume profile. So we need to understand that if we come back up to that range, we're likely going to reject off that initially and have to build up more volume to get there. So if we do see a retest here soon, keep in mind 66,200 is that low resistance range that we need to be mindful of, okay? Anyways, that's relevant because that's aligning itself rather with a lot of moving averages there, and that's not a good sign. Anyways, it doesn't mean the price can't recover to that level. It just means we're going to have trouble at 66 to 67,000. Wouldn't be surprised we get a rejection off that initially if we come back up to it. It'll probably align itself as well with 50 on the RSI depending on how the price action plays out. But the key takeaway here is being under 50 on the RSI is not great. And generally speaking, the overall sense here is just fairly bearish. The macro is bearish. There's no other way around it. Even the stochastic RSI, while it's trying to swing up, it's having a lot of difficulty. Okay, so I think we're a long ways away from Bitcoin just blasting off. I think a slow bleed like this is going to be consistent for a little while until we bottom out. And my personal thoughts is that 62,800, let's just say 63,000. That's going to be the area that will probably be swept first before the price can recover. I have limit orders all the way down to about 57,000 personally. Again, just to add to my spot bag. Are the high leverage long positions for my leveraged portfolio? Definitely not. No, not even close. I don't even consider the thought process. Every time I refer to a good entry, I'm generally referring to spot as far as the price pulling back. In fact, we're adding spot signals to our community here soon. We've got some pretty good votes there recently, and it seems pretty likely we're going to be able to have that here soon. Just waiting for the web guys to get that together, so please understand. I can't just throw it together instantly, but it will be available here shortly. Having said all that, as we can kind of see, still looking fairly abysmal in the 4-hour time frame. There's nothing really indicating positive shifts here. The stochastic RSI is kind of swinging up, and we do got a MACD convergence, but it's super weak. Right? It doesn't mean much. Super low volume means very little when it comes to these kind of swings, right? So you got to understand those oscillators, they don't understand or recognize high volume. It's not built into them. But when we do look at the volume, we can see it's absolutely dissipated and pretty minimal. That leads me to believe that this little pump or this little recovery is very false and very insignificant. Again, this is a weekend, folks. The whole point of looking at this on the weekend is to kind of get perspective of what happened this week, and it's been a bearish week. Will we see a recovery potential rally? Yeah, that could happen. If it does, keep in mind 66,200 upwards of 67.1 is that area of resistance. Ichimoku Cloud confirming as well, we're still underneath. We've been like this for a while, minus our 2 false positives here that kind of faked out a lot of folks. I'll be honest, we bit into this one here. Fed meeting went well, price action just dumped from there, okay? And again, it happens sometimes, folks. That's where that law of averages occurs. Once more, just to kind of throw this out here, we got some pretty good months over the last 6 months, right? And again, some folks are focusing on just one bad month. I'm sorry that that's the case, but truth is, you're going to have those kind of things in trading. It's very normal, right? If people are consistently trading with no downtrend, there's obviously something wrong there. I personally just think that there's no other way around it. You have to take the licks as you trade. So just throwing that out there for anyone who's listening. I can assure you, after 20 years of trading, it's very common to have 1 or 2 months that aren't so favorable. It's also common to go in streaks as well, because once again, the market is shifting its momentum. You kind of got to learn from that shift. And now that we've shifted momentum, we've been successful on some short trades. But again, we're playing them kind of safe right now because altcoins they're starting to find their bottom, their tentative bottom. I'm not saying they're not bottomed out. I do think they're going to have one last leg down, but the truth is, yeah, we're not in an optimal situation for that. Anyways, I think we're still accurate here in assuming that the price, if it comes up here to this point of control, roughly about 65K, we might get a rejection there. I think this seems more likely and appropriate. So we'll consider that. Quick little look at the TPO here for the last 24 hours. We can see we have the most amount of control, most amount of buying pressure at 64,300. So if we close at 64.3 or lower today, then I would say further downside makes sense. Once more, it's a weekend, low volume, doesn't make a ton of sense to consider trading this range, honestly. There are some altcoins that are shining today. I'm going to try to cover those here soon, but I can tell you for the moment, not really a great condition for Bitcoin. I do think that we should see a slight relief rally here, but I don't think it's going to be much of a rally at all, okay? Should be a fall flat on your face and back down to 63. That's my personal opinion. I hope that makes sense, though, and I'll go ahead and post this on our Twitter, Telegram, Discord, YouTube, TikTok, all that good stuff, just so you can kind of see I keep you up to date and abreast on things. Feel free to join us over on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, too. Those are kind of nice. I'll be bringing a lot more of those here soon. A bit kind of off track on that this week here, just because we're moving and everything, so you will see a bit new background again soon, too, so it'll be a lot of fun. Thanks again for your time. Deeply appreciate you. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.